you run the largest platform for storytelling in the country in regional languages. And it is user generated. That's very different from this big media perspective. So I wanted to ask you, when you're dealing with content today, I mean, all of us old foggies, I think we are all old foggies, Rohit, from the old journalism world, think of us only as content creators. But there are 1.3 billion people out there who are making content, sometimes much better than any of us who've been trained to do it too. And Ranjit runs the platform that does that. So Ranjit, how do you respond to what Rohit was saying and your views on this?
So I absolutely relate to almost everything that Rohit said. I hope that I'm audible here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. So I could relate to almost everything. And in fact, some of the things that he was talking about are things that we are building that not just Pratilipi can use, but hopefully other companies that may not be able to invest as much into newer technology can use as well. So in general, I think a lot of times people are afraid of changes. A lot of times people think that they can fight against technology, they can fight against progress. Typically, we have seen this happen industry across industry, market across market, that change is an inevitable law of nature. That is always going to happen. Like technology is going to become more and more important to how we operate, to how we live, to how we create content, to how we consume content. Either we can fight that and we can live in a hubris that somehow my industry is special or somehow my country is special, or we can actually utilize technology to become better itself. It doesn't have to be that technology essentially makes everything works. It can make things better. And I think Rohit gave a bunch of examples around the same lines. And I'll just add a couple of other examples. So one of the things, for example, that we're trying to build is that do people really have to create stories individually in each language? Like if there is a great story in, let's say, Tamil or Kannada or Malayalam, and which could be a journalistic story, which could be a research story, which could be a fiction story, why shouldn't that same story be converted into different other languages where others can also benefit from that story? So can we increase the catalog multi-times without having more people doing that? So that's just such a better world to live in. Similarly, across formats. So if a journalist has written a news report, for example, or a writer has written a story based in, let's say, a mythological era, do we really have to say that everybody either read this book or wait for 3 years before it becomes a movie? Can we not build technology that can convert that story into audio automatically, comics automatically, or even a movie automatically? So I think over the next 5 to 10 years, what we'll see is that great IPs, and they could be fiction, they could be non-fiction, they will translate almost seamlessly across different languages, across different formats, across different geographies. So it's a very, very exciting time from where I'm sitting. Media companies of tomorrow, in my belief, will do is that technology will solve for the parts which are more factual or utilitarian by nature. That the ball pitched at this length, it came at this height, at this space. That is something that technology can do it in a much faster, much more reliable manner. But what that actually meant, how should people feel about it? That is the part where I think curation and judgment and expertise and insights comes along. So our thought process has always been that customers don't care whether it was a story written by a human or whether it was a story written by an AI or whether it was something of a mix. A customer cares or a user cares whether I like the story or not. How does that story make me feel? So our belief is that when you combine both is when you get the best outcome possible.